Filmmaking is super expensive and for no reason. I think filmmaking, even with sound, is almost the same thing. Like you get out of it what you put in it, and it is what it is. But if I was starting out as a cinematographer, the first thing that I'll purchase is a camera. There's no other way around it because a lot of times if you're gonna rent, it depends on your situation. If you're financially okay, then you can rent equipment. Like you can go rent the Venice, you can go rent the Alexas, you can go do that. The challenge with those things is you don't have the camera with you all the time, right? So you only have it for the time period that you're renting it, and you cannot film yourself or experiment, when you have downtime. So it's better to have a camera in your house. Like the Sony FX3 has been popular lately, or the Sony FX30. And Canons, they have some good stuff. Panasonic has some good stuff. Nikon, was it red now? you could get that. And what that allows you to do is to practice when you have time, and just to see if certain things work out for you. That'll be the first thing on my purchase list, like a camera. I feel with lenses I'm a bit conflicted, because the more I do this, the more I start to realize what's important and what's not, and what does what and what doesn't. Some lenses, like a lot of cinema lenses, have character to them. So when you're buying a lens, you're buying it for the look that the lens has, because of the different technicalities in them, just how the glass behaves. I own some dual lens lenses, and one thing they have is they're low contrasty, but that helps me create the look that I want. A lens that I'm super in love with is the Zeiss Primes. They're super clean. They're used for a lot of commercials, and I just like the clean look. My buddies love the Super Speeds, old school. And part of the reason people like the Super Speeds was because of how much you can open them and you can shoot at night. But for me, when I got them, I actually just like the look. Like I'm one person who, when I'm filming, it's usually T4. It's not even high open, but like unless you're filming at night, then you're forced to do that. But the problem is once you start hitting that T2, it becomes tougher to focus unless you have a super experienced first AC hitting the focus. If you don't have that, I feel like you don't necessarily need a super expensive lens, but it'll be cool to have for your portfolio and stuff like that, because people do judge you for the work that you do, and it's said as it is. Like, you're doing the most with what you have, and no one really understands that. Like, what you're investing in is the skill. It's not necessarily the quality of footage that the person has made. But then unfortunately, as humans, we see what we see, and we're like, oh, this doesn't look as, but it's like, no, that person is literally just maximizing the equipment that they have, and it's the limitations of the equipment. But then the audience doesn't know that. They just see what they see, and they're like, nah, this is not it. After I get those two things is a light meter, because I feel like it's important, even if you're just using natural light, just to see how the light is behaving and how well exposed you are. I think that helps a lot. And then I'll also buy a monitor. If you have a monitor, then you're able to use things like false color, which just helps you understand how your image is exposed. But like a light meter already does that for you, and it helps you just come up with contrast levels. From there, I'll buy some lights. I think the Amaran brand is quite affordable, and it has good lights where you can use with Sidus Link. But if you are well up, if you have some money, then you could do aperture. I've never used non-light. I've seen a lot of YouTubers use non-light lights, so you could try them. A light that I'm constantly looking at is the Amaran Matte. Like, I wish I had that thing. It just looks cool, and I feel like it's usable, and it's so portable. You can do whatever you want with it. It's like 1,000 Canadian dollars. So I don't know how much it is where you are at, but like that's a light that I'll go for, because it just feels like you can stick it up on a wall, you can stick it up on the ceiling, you can do a lot of crazy stuff with it. A tool that is very useful, a C-stand, because a C-stand, man, like I feel like this is the most underrated film tool that you need, because the beauty about C-stands is how much you can use them. There's a lot of things that you can do. One is to shape light. One is to, when you have space, like right now, I'm sitting super close to my light. It's on a C-stand and it's pointing up, and you can move that, and also you can have your flags, and then you can shape the light in a way that you want. A thing that I refrained from last year, but I've gone back to doing it now because it's just easy, and quick, is, what do you even call this? A softbox. Like, I hate softboxes just because they don't give you control like what a diffusion does. Like a I don't even, is it called a 4x4 does, like how more control you have. Whereas like with the softbox, because it's just stuck on your light, right? So like you can't move it forward, you can't do much with it. Like, I don't like the look that it comes out of it, but it's also good. It's simple, easy, and quick. So beggars can be choosers when you don't have much of a budget. But I think, yeah, I'll get a softbox, or I'll get two C stands and then buy a diffusion. Diffusions, they tend to be expensive for no reason as well. Well, I mean, if there are less people producing it, I suppose they can be expensive as they want to. But yeah, I'll get that diffusion kit. And then flags are important, just to help you control your light. Like, if I had a flag, I'd have put it like out of frame so that the light doesn't bounce back to me. But I don't really mind it because I like the framing that I have, and I like the lighting sources that I have. So I'll get those. One other thing you want to think about is storage, as a DP, because, when you're constantly filming, you want to have proper storage. I've been looking at the CFA Express. I mean, they're super expensive, but I think they'll help you unlock more things in your camera, like with the FX3. Like, you're super limited if you're using these affordable SD cards. But like, if you can do that, then that's also amazing. I would look into accessories like your V-mount batteries. The Sony battery that comes with the FX3 is pretty decent. But like, if you want to just keep shooting, then you want to look into those things. I would also look at accessories like rigging, your shoulder rig. You'd look into that. I have one. I don't normally shoot things that require having a shoulder rig because I pull my own focus, so it's quite challenging. So a lot of my handheld is just me holding the camera right here and just doing that stuff. I don't. But when I was in film school, I loved the shoulder rig, man, because like you can just get crazy shots and follow up shots with it, and you have someone pulling focus for you. That'll be amazing. A tripod. Oof. I feel like there's no filmmaking without a tripod, because tripods are just great for having that. Because, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like my hands shake sometimes, and just having that ability to have a stationary shot that just does that, which I feel like everybody who's watching film or watches TV is constantly used to. The tripod look like you wouldn't know that the camera was just placed on a book. It's not a tripod, but like I feel like tripods are very useful. And also when you film yourself, tripods help a lot. But if you don't have a tripod, it's not the end of the world. You can always place your camera somewhere and just have it stationary. And then if you're someone who likes doing documentaries or you like filming outside, ND filters, especially if your camera doesn't have internal ND, you want to have ND filters. A thing that I've come to distaste is diffusion filters, because there's one stuck on my lens and I can't get it off. So I hate them now. Promise filters, I hate them now. But I'll say I got a cheap one. So yeah, you get what you pay for. You want to have your gaffing tools and stuff like that on you so that you're always ready, like a gaffer tape and your screwdrivers, Allen key, stuff like that, which comes handy more than you know it. Like, especially if you're moving around your camera, like it's from the tripod to a shoulder rig, from the shoulder rig to this thing, it's handheld, and you'll be shocked how much tools you need just to be able to do those things. And a lot of times people don't have them on set, so you want to think about that. I don't worry too much about sound if it's not a thing you want to do, but like I'll look into just having a little mic that I can place on my camera that just helps the sound sync issues on these cameras, unless you're doing time codes and stuff like that, which I'm not an expert at. A light that's actually been super handy for me is this, an Amaran 1 footer. Like, this light has come clutch for me, man, because I just throw it in my backpack, and when we go, like, we're doing some natural stuff, we're outside and you need a light, man. They just tell somebody hold it up here, and we have proper lighting set up. It's a proper tiny light, and I love them because they help in tight spaces. Started investing in is lamps, man. Like, I love practical lights. Like, I feel like they just help tell a story, and I use a lot of them. So yeah, I'll invest in those. And then invest in shot deck. I think being on shot deck is important because it allows you to see what other cinematographers have done, and you just get references from there and looks like and things like that.